Guys, watch to the end for a bonus oil that was not shown in the picture, and the results may even surprise you. What's up, guys and gals? Today we're going to work on something a little bit out of the norm. We're going to do a review on something, and even though I'm saying the word review, it is not a review. I'm not being sponsored by any of these companies here, but I wanted to have a good idea or show you guys what the difference is between these three popular brands of oil. So we're going to see how long they last in terms of spinning the reel. I have a spool here I'm going to use. It's a Pen 114 heavy metal spool there. I'm going to use this socket, drop this bearing inside there like that, have this sit on top of it. You'll notice that it doesn't touch. It's just barely, but it does not touch at all. And then we're just going to spin it and compare how long each one of these spins. So basically the way it's going to work is I'm going to use a base, and the base is going to be the bearing just as it came from the manufacturer. So if there's oil in there, great. If there's not, if it's dry, it's all the same, doesn't matter. That'll be the base. Then we'll start with the ReelX TSI 321 and then the SpeedX. All of these are brand new bottles, so I'll have to open them up. After each series of tests per oil, I'm going to clean this bearing. So what you see here in this bearing is not what we're going to start with. We're going to take the shields off to give it maximum allowable room for spin, and obviously to be able to clean this out as well as we can, because we're going to use brake cleaner fluid to clean it off, and then we're also going to use 91% alcohol to get rid of any brake cleaner fluid residual that's on there. Each one of these bearings, I don't know if I said it before, will have a series of 3 tests, so an average of 3, and then we'll move on to the next one. Alright, so the seals have been removed, and as we can see, there's grease inside this bearing. Let's go ahead now and open these up. And for the TSI 321, I'm going to use some that I got from Dad's Old Tackle a little while back. You guys may have seen me using this. That's kind of why I was using it, just to kind of test it out, because I've never really used it before. This is the stopwatch I'll be using. I'll press start. When it gets to about 10 seconds, I'll spin the first spin, count to see how long that lasts, and then subsequent trials will be following that format. First up, let's do 3 trials of the base, which is the way it comes from the manufacturer. I'm going to stick this on the spool first and then drop it inside there, kind of like this. And that's the balance it'll have. It'll be a very light turn. I'm going to make a mark on here so you guys can see when the reel stops, or sorry, when the spool stops moving. Alright, let's get started. Looks like 12 seconds. Let's call it 12 seconds. Now I do get that this is kind of a rudimentary way of doing it, but it's something, and you guys get an idea of how these things work. Second trial. We got 12 seconds there again. Third trial. Almost 13 seconds. We're going to call it 12. Looks like the base is going to be 12 seconds. Alright, so I'm going to pause the camera, clean out this bearing, and the first one we're going to start with will be the ReelX. If you guys want a more in-depth description of how I clean bearings or refurbish them, Watch until the end of the video, and I'll leave a link on one of those pop-ups that come up towards the end of it. All right, so for the ReelX, we're going to drop 2 drops. It'll all be 2 drops per. I'll do it so you guys can kind of see it. One drop. Oops, I got my finger. 2 drops. Now we're going to spin that around a little bit to kind of work that in. That should be enough. Now again, this is the ReelX. I got 25 seconds out of that. Second trial for the ReelX. "25 seconds again. Last trial for the ReelX. "35 seconds. All right, now we'll do the same process of cleaning and relubing the bearing, now with TSI 321. Now 2 drops of the 321. This is a thinner oil. 1, 2. Work that in. My expectation is that this will be the fastest one, or longer spinning one, or longest spinning one, excuse me. But I also feel like it'll be on par with the SpeedX, so we'll see if I'm right. First test, 321. "26 seconds. Second test, 321. We'll call that one 30 seconds. Notice there was a little wobble at the end. Final test with the 321. We'll call it 28 seconds. And what I'm going to say with that one is there was a noticeable wobble on, I think, all 3 of these tests for the TSI 321, and very little wobble with the ReelX, but there was some as well. But we are going to say 28 seconds on this one, and we're going to average that out to about 28 seconds. Same process, then we'll get to the SpeedX as the last trial. Now 2 drops of oil of the SpeedX. This is made by the same company as ReelX. I think you guys can tell that already. One, two. Work it in. First trial with the SpeedX. I started a little bit early. Got 23 seconds out of that. Second SpeedX trial. Twenty-six seconds. Final SpeedX trial. We got 31 seconds out of that. As you can see, this is not a perfect test because there is some wobble on this sometimes, and I really believe that that's affecting all of these oils. I think it affected the ReelX the least. I think it affected the TSI the most, and also affected the SpeedX. Alright, so let's do a little bonus here and try it with some Abu Garcia, which is a heavier oil. And then I think we'll also do one dry, and just to kind of see how running a bearing dry would work. Alright, I think I might just do one drop of Abu because a big drop comes out. We'll see. Yeah, one drop is all we're going to put on there. A lot does come out just on one drop. Alright, so let's just kind of compare how this one works to the other thinner oils that we have. I'm only doing one spin with this one. Not bad, I got it at 24 seconds. And for that one, it felt like a lot less vibration or rocking on the spool, so I think it got pretty close to what the maximum spin on that would be. On these, I think you get up these maybe 10 to 30% on all of them, even probably more so on the TSI. Let's go ahead and do the dry and see how the dry works. If you want an idea of how a bearing spins when it's dry, like a stainless steel bearing, this is what it looks like. I'll actually put a timer on this so you guys can just see it in real time. We'll start at 10 seconds like we did for the other ones, then watch how long this lasts. You got a full 15 seconds out of that. Now, I'm not saying to run your bearings dry. I'm just saying that obviously no resistance means a much freer spinning bearing. Alright, here's a dry bearing. A lot of wobbling happening off the bat. A lot of wobbling. Even with all that wobbling, we still got a full 30 seconds out of that. So even though on paper it says that, you know, I would go with these two at kind of matching up, even though the oddity right there is at 35 seconds, but I feel like that's the truer nature or truer number for the ReelX. These may have had some things affecting it, but clearly you can see adding grease versus oil on any of these or dry, the oil far outperforms the grease any day. As I've been using the TSI 321, I can say that compared to the ReelX, which is what I use pretty much all the time, it feels a little bit better in terms of the free flowing of the bearing, but I would still prefer the protection of the ReelX over the TSI 321. If all you're looking for was distance, I would go with this and possibly this. I would probably end up going with this one if I wanted it, but I would still prefer this for the reels that I service over these other ones here. All right, guys, I hope that helps you guys out there. If you found the video useful, please hit that thumbs up button. If you appreciate content like this, certainly subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.